All right,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the second time today, will the lady sponsor yield to some very few questions also?
Okay. Most welcome,
Thank you.
Senator Ping.
Thank you, Mr. President. Upon inspection of the General Appropriations Bill, also known as the House version, involving the budget of the Department of Agriculture, we noticed some changes, some movements of funds, particularly in the Office of the Secretary. There's a reduction of 6%, amounting to 3.530 billion pesos. Another reduction is the item described as locally funded and foreign assisted projects. A reduction of 27% or equivalent to 5.5 billion pesos. And there's an increase of 17% on the item agri machinery, equipment, facilities, and infra program. So amounting to 1.9, the variance is 1.970 billion pesos. My question is, I'd like to think that during the plenary debates in the House, wherein you were present, you were at least consulted when these movements were introduced, when these changes were introduced during the period of amendments. Did you know you were not consulted? So who's going to implement? Because we noticed that the bulk of the increase under the program is for farm-to-market roads. So who usually implement? Di ba kayo rin, yung Department of Agriculture? So how would you implement projects that you were not part of the planning in the first place? Because I think during the budget call, you had submitted your budget, including the planning that you made, that you instituted. But in this case, changes were made, movements of funds were introduced during the amendments, and malalaki ito, hindi naman ito biro-biro. So my question is, how would you now implement these projects, these PAPs, when you were not even consulted? You cannot.
I think they will give a list of what projects they want to implement, and they said they're going to validate if it follows their criteria.
Yes, but my problem with this, Madam Sponsor, is sila na naman tatamaan ng unused appropriations. Because if they cannot implement, they cannot utilize the funds intended in the first place when they submitted to the budget call of the DBCC. And ngayon, napalitan, is it enough that they just submit the list of the projects of the farm-to-market roads that did not entail planning on your part? Parang hindi fair, ano?
But
So what would you suggest the Senate would do? Madam
the
Sponsor.
Senate is free to do what they want to do. I think the Senate.
Kasi ang bulk napunta sa farm-to-market roads eh. And there are other priorities. I suppose when they prepared the budget to answer the budget call, they were tedious in the preparation of the budget, di ba? Because it takes months to prepare. And now all of a sudden, in a snap of a finger, nawala yung budget, nalipat kung saan.
Yung fertigation.
So this is a perennial problem actually. Without consultation, they would just move funds from one item to another or even from one agency to another.
Yata sa PRDP para dalhin sa farm to market.
So right now, as we speak, you don't know which farm-to-market roads will be implemented. Is that a correct statement? As we speak now, the department does not even have any idea which farm-to-market roads, where, how much.
I think Mr. Senator, Mr. President, the realignment came from PRDP. That's a foreign funded project. Oo. So, bawal po yun kasi di ba yung mga
Correct.
foreign funded, they are there
Yes.
for a specific purpose. So, sumulat sila, binalik daw sa PRDP.
Yes, but this is the House version transmitted to the Senate. So unless we restore these items, it remains as the version of the budget of the Department of Agriculture.
Na dito sa Senate. Na-restore na daw po sa committee,
Sa committee report.
sa Senate.
So bakbakan ito sa BICAM.
Yeah, oo. Marami
And I hope-
pong ganyan. Oo.
Yes, because kung foreign assisted, we cannot just touch.
Yeah,
the-
that's why I was
the
telling
budget.
them that it's foreign assisted, so it's for a specific purpose. You cannot bring it to another use, di ba?
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear that the committee report restored already.
Yes, yes.
So nawala na yung House version, nabura na. Not everything, I suppose, or lahat. At least the foreign assisted projects ang na-restore, but the others hindi.
Yung PRDP daw 5 billion
Yeah.
na-restore.
Okay. So also we noticed that yung releases under Binahan 2 focused on farm to market. Ba't ang hilig nila sa farm to market roads? Farm to market road projects with a total amount of 5 billion. This is under Binahan 2. Ang tanong ko po is, can you explain the connection between these farm to market road releases to the government's COVID-19 response to the pandemic? Parang hindi ko ma-connect eh. COVID-19 response. How would farm to market roads respond to the COVID-19 pandemic?
Maybe their thinking is that it will improve the logistics of the movement of goods during pandemic.
But there were no movement of foods, food items, because lockdown eh.
The mobility. My God, we have to justify because it has been passed and it has been implemented.
You know, we laugh about this, but this is no joking matter, Madam Sponsor, di ba? Kasi this is the budget, the national budget of the Republic of the Philippines.
But we also passed the Bayanihan too in the Senate, so we should have changed it during that time. So it's for logistics daw, Senator P.
Mr. President, with the permission of the gentleman and lady on the floor, may I just, yes, thank you. I don't know anything about the farm to market road. No, I haven't discussed this with DA. So, but mine is just an observation, Your Honors. Actually, my brief manifestation later on will really be about futures thinking. So, if in fact, the reason for that is a reaction to the reality that a lot of our farmers do not have the right roads to allow the smooth transport of their goods, then I support it in terms of long-term planning. Obviously, that would not be a solution during COVID overnight. And I doubt that it would solve it in 3 months or even in 6 months. But in the very same way that we've had not really strong debates, but there were discussions of whether we will include school buildings in the DepEd budget last year. It's the same argument. As the chairman of the committee that overheard the DepEd budget, I argued that we're not in school now. That was last year. Now we're not in school now, but we will be, and we have a shortage of schools. Therefore, we must continue building. So I'm just sharing that from my perspective as the chair of the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals. It's a continuing need that we have. I don't know anything though about any concerns that her and his honor may have. I just wanted to share my own observation. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cayetano. Now, some statistics, yung sa food security. Yung this year's report on the state of food security and nutrition in the world summarizes the first global assessment of food insecurity and malnutrition in 2020. Now, it says here that nearly 1/10 of the world population, or up to 811 million people, went hungry in 2020. And then, ang projection by 2030, 660 million people in the whole world will still face hunger. So where are we in this scenario, Madam Sponsor? Where is the Philippines in the Global Food Security Index? At least in 2021.
Ano? Ano? Sa SDG. Ating
I will answer my own question, Madam Sponsor. So it will bring me to the next question. Okay.
We're discussing what
Yeah, I know,
will be
I know.
the basis,
Just to
if
help
it
out.
will be rice, the production of rice or the production of other food.
Okay.
But the Department of Agriculture was saying that in terms of rice production, we're doing well, except that maybe in livestock, we failed because of the ASF. And then yung atin namang if poultry is improving, yung ating crops, yung vegetable and ano, okay ba siya? Pero alam ko yung corn bumagsak ang production ng corn natin. So it's varied. There are agricultural products which improve and there are agricultural products which decline. So it's you cannot say that we're very successful. But considering that rice is the staple food of the Filipinos, pag maayos ang production ng rice, malaking bagay sa mga Pilipino.
When we talk of food security, it involves all
Yes, yes.
aspects of food
So may
production.
kung bumaba, may tumaas. So
Yes.
for different
But overall,
reasons.
overall, we declined by 1.9 points
Yes,
from
yes.
57.6
Yes.
to 55.7.
Yeah.
So yung Philippines po nag-slip 3 places, to 3 points down to 73rd spot out of the 113 countries. So ang sunod na tanong ko, kaya sabi ko sagutin ko na lang para to bring me to my next question. Ano yung measures being instituted by the agency or the department to address this concern, to increase the capacity to provide reliable access to sufficient food supply to all Filipinos, Madam?
They said that their priority program is the plant program. So it involves the crops, and I think they're doing their best to solve the ASF problem. Kasi alam nyo, 50% of our 55%, 30, 85, 50, 55% of our production is in crops, and then 30% of production is in livestock, poultry, and dairy, and 15 would be sa fisheries. So we have to improve everything. I think our fisheries went down, our livestock went down, but our crops are going up. So yun yung problema natin. So they said that they will emphasize daw yung plant.
Thank you, Madam Sponsor. Well, ito yung facts, ano, yung gross domestic product, yung GDP ng Pilipinas, nagkaroon tayo ng growth na 7.1%. Ano to? In the third quarter of 2021. Unfortunately, yung agriculture, fishery, and fishing posted a contraction of 1.7%. So in the third quarter. And of course, ano yung saan natin ma-attribute itong contraction compared to the 7.1 growth in the GDP? Yung sector, including forestry, nag-contract tayo ng 1.7. To what factors can we attribute the contraction?
Of course, the most important thing is the ASF. Kasi dati 33% ang livestock, naging 30%. And at the same time, tinamaan ng bagyo yung ating mga crop producing provinces like Northern Luzon and then the Visayas and even part of Mindanao, di ba? So I think it's the climate change also that's affecting us, and of course diseases. That's why we have to be more careful kasi dun tayo nakpabaya yung how to control the entry of diseases to our country. So ngayon, nag-emphasize tayo that we have to have this yung mga imported dadaan sa tamang proseso para hindi tayo mapapasukan ng diseases like ASF. And then of course, we have to improve our climate resiliency kasi talagang ine-expect nila na maraming typhoon ang tawag dadating sa atin, and it will affect agriculture. Kasi being an island country, and talagang yung sea level rise at saka yung mas grabe ang mga typhoon na dumadating because of climate change. So that is one of our problems that we have to face.
Yeah. So ano yung mga impact ng mga policies that we put in place to address these issues? ASF muna, ano ba naging impact nung in-increase natin yung MAV, ni-reduce natin yung tariff?
That's temporary.
I know,
It's only
that's
for
temporary.
1 year to bring down the cost of pork and other meat products until such time na makarecover tayo sa ASF. But that's temporary. Oo. The number of ASF cases as of November 11, 2021, 7 regions, 12 provinces, 32 municipalities, 68. Ito ba yung bumaba? Bumaba to. And so ang natitira na lang na total number of
So how many farmers?
barangays na lang. Oo.
So
So bumababa naman yung ASF cases natin. So hopefully masosolve natin to, and they have a
how many
program.
regions are now affected?
7,
7 from 12 as of early
from
2021.
13 to 7. And then provinces from 51 to 12.
Yeah.
And for
I'm looking at the early
municipalities,
2021 figures, ma'am.
November
So,
2021.
Anyway, it has vastly improved, yung
Yeah,
situation.
From sa municipality 637 to 32, and the barangays 3,416 to 68.
So mostly sa Luzon tinamaan ng ASF, hindi ba?
Karamihan sa Luzon.
Hindi ba pwedeng Mindanao din? Very few in Mindanao, I heard.
Yes.
So, can we not patronize na lang yung Mindanao? So movement lang ng hogs from Mindanao to Luzon. I heard si Secretary Dar mentioned that
Yeah. But-
we moved hogs from Mindanao or pork products from Mindanao to Luzon. Kulang pa rin.
They were doing that, but kulang pa rin daw.
So would you recommend to extend yung the existing minimum access volume or hindi na? 1 year is sufficient.
Yeah.
Because
I think so. The tariff daw will be effective until May next year. So
yes,
that's
but we
okay.
can cure that by legislation in case na
But I
talaga
think
nag-improve.
that would be enough. Kasi kawawa naman yung ating local producer.
Yun nga.
Nagre-reklamo din.
So we can remedy it by legislation to cut short the effectivity.
You want
Yan ang
to
ibig
capture,
sabihin.
I thought
Kasi
you
si
want to
Senate
make
President
it longer.
mismo, kausap niya yung hog raisers, yung big hog raisers. I remember during the committee of the whole hearing, di ba, we heard the manifestation and testimony of sino na nga yan?
The
Agap.
president,
And-
former Congressman Nicky Brones.
And
Agree.
they were crying dahil pinatay daw yung industry nila because of low tariff and increase of volume of imported pork.
Former Representative Briones is from Batangas, and I think
Yeah.
nag-recover na ang Batangas from ASF based on press releases. So,
Based on press releases.
yeah, is that true? It's true. They are the best.
Yes.
And they have this...
No, ang worrisome dito, Madam Sponsor, okay lang yon na yung stopgap measures being employed by government. Pero pag sumobra,
Yeah.
baka patay na yung kabayo pag pag natapos na yung effectivity ng MAV and the reduction
What do you think?
ng rates. So you continuously monitor the situation.
They have 4 billion daw for livestock to do repopulation next year.
Okay.
So
So
they repopulate.
monitored lahat ito, hindi naman pinapabayaan ito. That's all we want to hear, Madam Sponsor.
Okay.
Now, yung balik probinsya, bagong pag-asa program, 500 million for this year, and again, you're asking for another 500 million for next year. So, pwede ba makahin ng konting briefing dito sa particular PAP na ito relative to the balik probinsya program? Can you give us an update?
Department of Agriculture would like to submit their write-up of the program to you. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yeah.
Para mas maganda kaysa ako mag-describe.
Yeah.
So, can you give us a copy of the program?
Tapos yung R&D, yung research and development, how much fund are we allocating to the department? I ask this question kasi I think this year or for last year's budget, nag-augment po ako doon sa UP Los Baños, yung biotech, and they're being put into good use, yung research nila doon sa agriculture.
I think it's 1 billion, their project,
Is that
their
enough?
budget for R&D.
Alam ko si Secretary Dar, advocate ito ng research eh. Not enough, no?
My only comment on research is that we do research to help the people, diba? So if it's not helping the farmers, then we don't do it. I'm not against research. It's just that the research should be applied to the lives of the farmer.
Yes.
Diba?
Medyo ano to ma'am, medium term and long term ang effect. No, we cannot right away feel the effect of
Yeah,
research.
but it has to be taught to the farmers. Kasi
Yes, I agree.
research is to improve their lives, di ba?
I agree completely.
So, yun lang ang comment ko sa research. Kasi sometimes they do research for the sake of making research, not really to find out what can be done to improve the lives of people. Yun lang naman ang gusto
Okay.
ko.
Yes, ma'am. So moving on, ito na yung premise nung sinabi, yung premise kanina, ito na yung resulta. Yung utilization report as of August 31, and I want to be updated on this because this is dismal, ano. Yung sa committee, as of August 31, 2021, yung obligation rate nasa 60.12% lang or 37.6 billion of its total allotment
Saan?
amounting to 62.67 billion. Yung disbursement rate is only 52.86 billion. Has this improved?
Yes, the summary as of October 31, it's 74.27.
71%.
74%.
74%.
So nag-improve na.
So with only less than 2 months to go,
So what is your
confident pa rin na tumaas ito?
99% of projection of you will use your fund. No? So ang projection po nila ay 99% mayu-utilize nila ang funds nila.
My other issues, my other questions involve COA observation, but I guess you're trying to resolve these issues. So siguro ibigay ko na lang sa inyo to. Anyway, alam nyo rin yan eh. Nabasa nyo rin dito. So I just hope that you address all the issues and resolve with the COA. Yung, for example, fund transfers to NGH, LGUs, GOCCs, and NGOs, POs during the year for the implementation of agency project amounting to 21 billion, 21.1. 17 billion or 82% hindi na liquidate. So na-address na ito. So I trust that you are trying to resolve all these issues. So I will not belabor this anymore. There are numerous COA observations dito eh. But I will not to give the others their chance because it's getting late na rin. So para si Senator Pia can take it away. Thank you, Madam Sponsor.
So we have a report of the COA findings and their answer. Maybe we can furnish you a copy. Senator Ping. We have a report of the COA findings and response, so we can furnish you a copy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator Ping and Senate President.
All right, Senator Francis